Each day of the CFE. The Common Final Examination, also called the CFE, is the new national final examination for the consolidated CPA profession in Canada. The exam is a 3-day exam held once a year, and it is the final step for candidates to complete the educational component to become a CPA in Canada. Here's some of what you can expect for each day of the exam. Day 1. Day 1 evaluates your soft and professional skills and is a 4-hour-long examination. The first day of the CFE is a pass-fail mark treated separately and distinctly from days 2 or day 3. You can pass or fail day 1 regardless of how you do on day 2 and day 3. Similarly, if you fail day 1, you need to redo only day 1 and successfully complete that exam regardless of how you did on day 2 or 3. Day 1 is linked to the Capstone 1 module, with the case being directly tied to your Capstone 1 case. Likely a situation where you're a few years later and things have changed. You are provided with the original Capstone 1 case, but not your group solution, and the updated information relevant for this case. Day 1 tests your soft and professional skills, also described as boardroom and senior management level of discussion. You are not expected to discuss accounting or other technical competencies in any great detail, but focus on the enabling competencies. That doesn't mean you can skip or ignore accounting issues, but these won't be the focus of this case. This may be tough for some people because it's difficult to study in the typical sense. It's very difficult to study enabling competencies. But here's some tips that might help you with day 1. Make sure that you know your Capstone 1 case inside and out well ahead of time. Make sure that you use broad thinking and integration of case facts into a holistic discussion. You can't have tunnel vision on this one, and you have to integrate all the case facts and consider various aspects of the case into one discussion. You'll have to be comfortable with decision making. Likely you'll need to make some decisions or recommendations. You'll have to be comfortable with professional judgment. Likely some level of professional judgment will be required as part of this case. Assess the situation and what needs to be done. Make sure to, again, look at the holistic picture. Make sure to analyze all the major issues. This isn't one where you can ignore that. Most importantly, conclude and provide useful advice and recommendations. More likely than not, you'll have to make some recommendations based on professional judgment or some decisions in the case. Finally, ensure that your communication is clear. Day 2 of the CFE. Day 2 is a comprehensive case evaluating depth in your chosen role and breadth in the remainder of the roles, and is a 5-hour-long examination. The second day of the CFE is comprised of a single case with a number of indicators which are related to technical competencies. Each indicator is linked to one of the technical competencies and is marked on the regular scale of NA, not addressed, NC, not competent, RC, reaching competent, C, competent, and CD, competent with distinction. Day 2 is independent from any previous capstone, and the case will be original and new to you. You will have selected the elective role you want to play in the case, which could be finance, tax, assurance, or performance management. You will receive the same case and 4 separate appendices, each related to the role mentioned above. The requirements in this case should be very directed, so you should understand what is being asked of you. Day 2 tests your technical skills with depth required from your elective role selection, which could be the finance, tax, assurance, or performance management, and the remainder of the technical competencies tested at the core level, which is a lower level of testing. Here's some tips for getting through Day 2. Ensure you answer in depth, C level, for your elective competencies. Focus on technical competencies and ensure you cover enough of your non-elective competencies at the RC level. Wrap up with an executive summary wherever you can, and avoid skipping any single competencies. Day 3 of the CFE. The third day of the CFE is 3 to 4, usually 3, multi-competency cases, testing the common core competencies and could also test the enabling competencies. Cases will range from 45 minutes to 90 minutes for a combined 4-hour exam. Same as Day 2, each case has multiple indicators which are individually marked on the NA to CD scale. Everybody gets the same case. You will be required to answer certain competencies in depth and others in a more breadth fashion. You will have to show a higher level of judgment and integration than your previous core modules and likely have to do some ranking of issues during this case, which means dropping some issues and talking about others. But make sure to stay within your allotted time for each case. Day 3 tests your technical skills and likely ranking and will require you to answer in enough depth for financial reporting and management accounting, meaning at a C level enough times for those indicators, and breadth in all other areas, sufficient number of RCs. In other words, you'll have to answer C level for enough financial reporting and management accounting, and RC level enough times in the other indicators. Here's some tips for getting through day 3. Make sure that you get lots of practice with cases in advance. Play with 45-minute cases, 60-minute cases, and 90-minute cases so that you're comfortable answering all 3 types in the allotted time given. Try to answer to a C level and not more. Time management and outlining will be important, and that's the reason you don't want to overdo it and just stick to the C level, not CD. Don't skip any competencies.